Good morning. Welcome to Upskill Monday. Today we are going to embellish this block. We are still working on herringbone. Next week we are going to up our game with fancier, schmancier herringbone. But today, still on herringbone. I'm going to add some nice big herringbone stitches here and embellish them. Let me get my needle first. Oh, my little needle book. I will have to tell you about this on Friday, how to make the easiest needle book on the planet. Let me grab a needle though. And I'm using a nice big-eyed needle, so it is easy to add the herringbone stitches. So we are adding herringbone and then some straight stitches and some lazy daisy. And I'm going to add beads. You could add French knots if you really like French knots, but I've got this thing for beads, as you know. Maybe a sequin if I can find the right color sequin. I'm going to use colors that are in this block. I think I'll do my herringbone in this color to go with the teal. Let me grab my little box of extras. Dan gave me some spools. I think I'll use a dark pink for my lazy daisies. Did I mention the lazy daisies? And some stems out of this green because it's very close to the green that's there. And then the only color I really have not used is purple. So maybe we can find some lovely purple beads and a contrasting yellow bead to go with it. And it will match all of the things in the block. So let's get started and review herringbone stitch first. Now, because I'm going to embellish on both sides of this herringbone, I'm going to mark with a fixin' pen so that my herringbone is actually sort of even. And I'm going to mark it this way also, so I have a grid. Normally I do not mark, not like this, and it won't look real fancy or special until after I iron away my grid. And you can eyeball it just like you normally do. But when I did my sample yesterday, and I'm not showing you my sample until the end, it really helped to mark the grid on the block. And this is a 1/2 inch Quilter's Magic Wand, one of my newest toys. Now, quick review of the herringbone stitch. So you knot off the end. I think I will go this direction. You put your thread up through with a knot on it, and I'm going halfway between and on the lines. So I come down through, up, and then I have a tack stitch. That will give me a nice loose herringbone. Make sure you don't pull your threads too tight. It'll give me a nice loose herringbone to embellish in the valleys and the places inside and the places outside of the herringbone. So let me get this done so we can add some embellishment. Next up, we have the straight stitch. And the straight stitch goes in every place that there is where the X's meet. So I can work my way right on down from one end to the other. If I put my thread up at where the X meets, I can put my needle down even with the next one and stitch over. So this goes very quickly to get those stems in there. This doesn't look like much, and the green stems kind of blend in, but you know, the ugly duckling turned into a beautiful swan. So let's add some pink lazy daisy petals, and then we'll start adding some blingy bling. For the lazy daisy stitch, we are putting 3 lazy daisy, I think I'll start in the middle so you can see it better. We are putting 3 lazy daisy petals right where the end of the X's are. And then we'll pop that bead into that spot, and the stitch at the end, the tack stitch. And then the middle petal. And you're thinking, oh, this one looks so similar to some other ones we've done. Yes, it does in a way, but it is a different sequence of stitches, and a lot of the stitches have lazy daisies and knots and beads, and we may have done one like this, but not with herringbone, but with chevron stitch. So there is pull that a little bit. There's an extra loopy loop there, so I'm going to use my needle to pull it so it doesn't have that loop. And there are my 3 petals. And then I'll just move on down the line and then come back this way to get all those petals done. Let me put this on speed so you can watch a little bit of the process. All the fantastic little pink lazy daisy flowers on both sides, the green stems, and the blue herringbone. It is time to start adding sequins and beads. Let me pull out what I would like to add. Now, the only green sequins I happen to have are in this little container. Wow. Oh, doggy's bringing me the ball. Excuse me a second. So I've got 3 different shades of green sequins here, and I'll pick one of those. I think it might be this little light colored one. And then I've got lots of green beads. It's easier to see without the lid. So after I'll do some matchy here with, I really like this peridot colored one, but I don't know how well it will go with that little light green sequin. The best one might be this light green bead. I'm not sure for just on the stems, but then again, it might be a contrasting dark green bead that I can't get out of there. It's hard to tell which one will be best. Let me do a little experimenting. Okay, I've done a few little tests with the teeny tiny sequins, and the bead just covers them up. You can't really see them. So I moved up to this sequin and the yellowish green bead that was in here, and it's kind of iridescent shiny compared to this peridot colored bead that is not iridescent. I'm going to use this one. It will look like that. So let me pull out my experiments and get started. Look at how that ugly duckling is becoming the beautiful swan. Still one more bead to put on there at the base of each flower. Let me figure out what color bead I'd like. Added the last little beads, and as I am putting my needle away in my little needle book, let me remind you that I will show you how to make this simplest needle book ever on Friday as part of Blabfest. I hope you enjoyed making the row of herringbone plus beads and sequins and lazy daisy stitch. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.